Hey guys, this is KinShun with another Unison League video. Today, I'm gonna do another advanced class guide. This time, I'm gonna do it on the advanced class of the Lancer. Quick update, character is a level 88 now. Got a gear score of 102k. Wow, my gear score was 97k for the longest time. Just trying to farm for Alice's and other monsters. I actually got the Kraken in this recent update event in like 4 runs, so I got real lucky. Not that I need the Kraken, but any character that needs it, that needs to up their defense and magic defense should get the Kraken summon, because it's a blue monster. It really helps with your defenses. Also, I think the Kraken also really has a really good ability. Does 110 ability power, up to 160 if you max at level 5, 200 skills, and a 60% chance to blind a target for 40 seconds. That's actually really good, especially in guild battles and during regular raids. So if you need defense, this is the time to get the Kraken. So moving on to the main topic of this video, I'm going to discuss the advanced class of the Lancer. Let's see. Lancer is actually a really good DPS class. It's not a class that I regularly play. I usually play the Soldier and the Ranger, as you have seen in my past videos. But the Lancer is a very versatile class. Refer to my Lancer class guides for more information. But very versatile, really good in the offense, not so much on the defense, and that's where the Soldier would come in if you were to pair the two up. So a little bit of a change for the Lancer skills. In terms of Night Splits, they increased the ability power of Night Splits from 190 to 210, which, wow, I mean, I thought 190 they already did a lot of damage with that. 210 ability power adds another additional 20 ability power to the skill, which really maximizes the damage of the Lancer. So be careful of these guys, especially with the new cap increase and the new advanced class ring. These guys will really pack a punch during guild battle. And if you're on the same team as them when you're raiding, they will really help. I've seen them actually do 63k, 73k unbuffed on the last boss of the current cap. So Lancers have really good potential to deal damage. Although the Ranger still is not out damaged by the Lancer with its lethal shot, but it comes pretty close, I feel like. So moving on to the advanced class ring. So the name of this is actually called Archdragoon. So it's kind of like Dragoon, but Archdragoon. I don't really understand the name. That's the first time I've ever heard anything like that in any MMO. I haven't played many MMOs, so I apologize if there is an Archdragoon class out there in other games. This is actually the first time I've heard of it. Alright, so to be a Archdragoon, you need to master the Dragoon ring, growth ring, all 3 tiers, which as you can see I have not. So I can't access these skills, but I can still explain them and tell you what's going on with them. Master the Knight growth ring, I definitely have that. So it's tier 2 of the Soldier class ring and tier 2 of the Cleric class ring, which is the Priest growth ring. And of course, you got to do the Armlet of Courage subquest at rank 48 when you reach at the end of the story. So those are the requirements here. Moving on to the trait effects. These are all the traits that you acquired from completing the first three rings of the Dragoon class, and the sub traits available for, well, I can't really access them, but I guess it would have to deal with class traits of the Knight and the Priest, because that's the 2 subclasses you need to master before being able to advance into growing the Archdragoon ring. So the first skill you get is called Break Thrust. Ability power 140, damages 1 enemy with physical power. Doesn't affect damage down and is not affected by reflect abilities. Really useful with those Dullahan captains. You know what I mean. especially when I kill myself with lethal strike with Ranger. Break thrust ignores all of that. You don't get damaged at all. You don't get effective any damage down debuffs. You do straight 140 ability power straight through. So really good skill, especially if you're facing any enemy with the reflect skill. Moving on, you have armor up by 3% left and right. You got increased defense of the helmet and the defense of the armor. So this really compensates the lack of defense that the Lancer has during the first 3 rings, because you don't have any passives that ups any defense of the character. So this really makes up for that. Moving on to this one, the Demoralize. Reduce the defense of enemies by 20% for 60 seconds, with an added effect of 20% to paralyze the target for 20 seconds. So what this is you reduce the defense and you have a chance to paralyze. Really good debuff skill. Best used during raids. I haven't really seen any Lancers use a skill yet, so I don't know the efficiency of the skill. But on paper, in theory, it sounds really good. Stuns and debuffs the defense for more devastating damage from the Lancer. Moving on to the next skill, more attack. So this really emphasizes the use of lance and sights for the Lancer. So they really encourage you to use lances, so that when you up this passive, you'll deal more damage with a lance and a scythe by 8%. So stick with lances, stick with scythes when you're using Archdragoon. Anti-mage, of course, Lancers hate mages. Adds another 20 ability power to their already crazy attack of Knight's Blitz. That's about 230 ability power with this. So if you're a Lancer in guild battle, kill the mages. One Knight's Blitz will probably take about 70 to 80% of HP down. Very effective in destroying mages. Another skill is called Double Sting. This is one of the newer skills. Ability power of 100, and it damages one single enemy with 2 separate attacks. So it attacks the enemy twice. The animation actually for this is actually really cool, but also really weird at the same time. You do 2 attacks per 1 launch. So you'll see the character hit twice, enemy twice, as they're using this skill. Of course, added effect, the bonus is to break the enemy, which then it would ignore any defense when damage is dealt. And this is good. This only applies when you use the skill after Savage Sting, and increases the ability power to 110. Cost is 18 with the cooldown of 11, so really high cost but low cooldown. And this seems to be the trend for these new advanced class skills. This is the shared trait and increase more attack by 7%. It's like they don't have any more attack, you know. Dragon Crush, ability power of 190. So this is the Knight's Blitz, but AoE style. You thought that Knight's Blitz couldn't get any better? Well, it did get better. It got increased 210 ability power, but this skill allows you to use Knight's Blitz on 3 enemies at the same time. Of course, this the devastating power of the skill is offset by the cost 25, which is a crazy lot, and the cooldown of being 40, which is a cooldown of any regular buff. Even though people have gotten the skill, I'm sure when they've maxed the advanced ring, I haven't actually seen any Archdragoons use this skill. Purely, even though if it's good enough to destroy groups of enemies, I feel the cost and the cooldown of this skill is way too much. Not very practical for guild battles, I feel. Alright, moving on. Critical damage up, of course. If you can't do more damage, you want to do more crit damage, and this ups it by 5%. Helma, more defense to ensure that you have enough defense and to get rid of that discrepancy that the Dragoon has. And here, Berserker Spear increases your critical hit by 30% for 60 seconds, kind of like the Eagle's Eye, but even better. And this costs 12 with a cooldown of 40 seconds. So it seems like the Dragoon, in terms of passives, it's trying to make up for the lack of defense that he has, and while increasing his already crazy maximized attack. So this is why you see Archdragoons now doing 63 to 73k per hit, and that I think is a little crazy. Night Splits has been upped, and there is an AoE version of Night Splits to maximize that attack. I think the new addition to the Archdragoon is the ability for Archdragoon to get through Mirror Guard, and that's actually particularly useful when you're fighting against enemies like Captain Dullahan, Alice in an earlier update, who puts up 10 Mirror Guard buffs on itself, which if you deal a lot of damage, you will definitely destroy yourself. So this is a good addition to help Dragoons focus their attacks and not be distracted by any mirror guards that the enemy puts up. And of course, good debuffs here with Paralyze and decreased defense will augment the damage that the Archdragoon can do. So also, one last thing, the Dragoon can do more damage, increase more defense, and get through Mirror Guard, anything that's reflecting. All right, if there's any, you guys, this is the end of the video. Of course, if there's anything that you'd like to add or change in this video that I've said in this video, please feel free to comment down the bottom. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I want to thank you guys all for watching. Give me some comments, and just let me know what you want to see on this channel for Unison League. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.